Okay, so this is an example of a study guide that you might use. This is an example of a study guide that you might use. It's called a Venn diagram. You could use it for cell transport, which was our last topic. So you could have done passive transport, active transport. You could have done it for the topic before. You could have looked at plant cells versus animal cells. In fact, a lot of this, what you're going to be writing down today about these cell processes, are mostly plant cells and animal cells. So you could actually put that inside of the Venn diagram. Now, to get this information, I suggest that you use the Ed puzzles. There was 2 of them. One of them was from Photosynthesis. It was from last week. And just looking at that first image, that's the picture that I would draw. I would put, whoops, I'm going to pause it as soon as it comes up. This is the Amoeba Sisters. You should be looking at these videos that I posted to get information to put in your Venn diagram. So look at this. Automatically, you could pause that. That's something that you're going to put in. This is what photosynthesis starts with. It starts with carbon dioxide, water, and light, sunlight. So you would definitely want to write that down.
Awesome that we all love sugar. Unfortunately, we cannot.
So it turns to, and a lot of times when we say it turns to or if it's changing to something else, we put an arrow, and that arrow represents something that's changing. So the sugar is C6H12O6, and I don't remember if you remember this from October, but this is also called the building blocks, glucose, and that's what plants do.
Incredible process, which is known as photosynthesis. Some types of protists can do photosynthesis.
Okay, so now here's an example of organisms that have photosynthesis or that go through, and some of them is protists. Now the one that we saw underneath the microscope was the euglena. I don't know if you remember the little tail it had and the eye spot. Let's see what else they mentioned. Some bacteria, again, maybe you would put that in there.
And of course plants can.
Plants we already said.
Animals and amoebas just sort of missed out on this ability. But we do benefit from it greatly, as this process also produces oxygen.
Whoa, produces oxygen. That's huge. So produce, I know, is kind of a word that's a tricky word, but produce is like a product. Produce is like what's made. So this makes oxygen, right? Oxygen gas, which we obviously, that's what they're saying. So can most animals perform photosynthesis? Nah. And you should have realized that when you were doing this video. You should have answered that question. And I'm going to, whoopsies. Okay.
And of course plants can. Plants will be our focus for this video. Animals and...
Okay. You know why I cannot watch this fluidly? So I'm going to go back to my content. And I don't really need the video, but I want to show you guys where you can find the answers. I don't want you to... Where is photosynthesis? Okay. Okay, I'm going to put it into... Let's see, can I fast forward? Let's see. Yep, now I can fast forward. Okay, here we go.
Here is the formula for photosynthesis.
So that might be something you might want to write down. Formulas. So here you would put it formula, And you could put carbon dioxide plus water, H2 osmosis, light, yields, oxygen, and sugar. Okay.
On the left side of the formula, you'll find the reactants. That means these are the inputs. The plant has to have these in order to do photosynthesis. On the right side of the formula, you will see the products. That means those are the items that are produced by the plant, the outputs. Now, sometimes the formula is written.
So sometimes the formula is written with the light as part of the arrow.
Formula is written a little differently. Technically, it needs to be balanced, and sometimes light is written on top of the arrow just to show that it's in the presence of light, so it may instead look like this. The C6H12O6, that product, it's a sugar, specifically glucose. Now, photosynthesis, it's not just a formula. Have you ever tried to capture light before? It's hard. Plants have light-capturing molecules called pigments that help them do this.
Okay, so that's going to be something I'm going to skip because
See, visible light, it has different
see
wavelengths.
light.
Different
So I would
wavelengths of
definitely
light have different
emphasize
colors.
that
If you have ever
when
played
you're
with
giving your
prism,
flip grid on
you may have been able to see
photosynthesis.
how light can be divided up
Emphasize
into
the fact that
colors due to these
photosynthesis
different
needs
wavelengths.
light.
Well, one
And the
pigment
light
plants
that's
use for
the
photosynthesis
the
is called
organelle that
chlorophyll.
uses it
Chlorophyll is an expert at absorbing
is
light,
called
but not so much
chlorophyll,
green light. Because it does not absorb very much green
which is
light, it
inside
actually
the
reflects green light.
chloroplast.
Therefore, many plants appear green to our eyes.
That might be something interesting to talk about. They are green in color. Any cell that is going through photosynthesis is green in color.
There are more pigments besides chlorophyll that work with different wavelengths of light, and this can explain why green is not the only color that you see in plants. Chlorophyll is a pigment found in the chloroplast plant cell.
So I might want to draw that diagram. Remember, plant cells, yes, they are green. They're also square in shape. So when you're looking at this plant cell, it's a square and it has a chloroplast in it. That chloroplast has what we call chlorophyll in it, which is used with sunlight.
Convenient, they sound similar. This amazing organelle is not found in animal cells.
Again,
There are two
not
major
found
reactions
in
that
animal
occur in the
cells.
chloroplast that together make up
Mine.
photosynthesis. The light-dependent reaction and the light-independent reaction.
So notice that I go through a pretty long span here with no questions. You don't need to know this really in depth, which is why I did not ask any questions in this section. But
What do I mean by fixed?
there is a question
By fixed, I mean that
here that talks about what humans breathe, and that's going to be important, okay? Especially when we start talking about respiration, which we're going to be switching to next, okay? So we need to know what humans do.
additional help of a major enzyme.
And enzymes, see, that's in both. That's something that I already talked about. That's definitely going to be in
ATP
both.
from the light-dependent reaction helps
Okay.
supply energy.
I'm going to skip forward a little bit.
Plants are the producers in food webs.
And I'm going to now switch over to respiration. So please check out my next video on respiration.